Alright, and we're back. Again, another cut in my video, going longer than I thought. So we just went over the dip in the sale price there. So now we're going to actually look at that was the percentage growth. Now we're going to actually look at the actual dollar amount, and we'll be able to see with on the top here again, national, on the bottom is going to be the local, and that's Rochester residential. The historical appreciation rate is 4%. If we stick to that, we're fine. We should be fine, I should say. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but if we stick to that, we should be fine. And what we can see here is in 2002, we said, what the heck, and we just went crazy, and homes went wild, and then the prices went up rapidly. And what happened is, again, the market's automatically going to correct itself, and it did. And what it did is it corrected itself in a strong fashion, and it went down quite a bit. And now what we're hopefully seeing here is our new floor that we've established. And eventually what we're going to be doing is getting back on track here and getting back up to that 4% appreciation line at some point. And what we can see here is in Rochester, the increase and the same peak happened as it did in the nation. Ours at 197, and then slowly dip down, and then down to 176. So we can quickly see how much we mirror the national numbers, just less dramatic. Again, we kind of stay stable a little bit more than the national. So what this is just quickly showing here is our the mortgage rates out there since 1989, and as you can see, they've been declining, a little peak here every once in a while, down to 4.7 in 09, and then up a little bit to 5.05 in February 2010. So there is a little bit of maybe a floor as I'm using here established there. So off to the next one here. We're going to actually look at pricing your home. So going over what we're actually going to be looking at when pricing your home. Quickly, the things that you would control as a seller: obviously the property conditions, the availability of the showings, the price of the property, the home warranty. Things you won't be able to control is the competition, what's out there right now, the buyer or seller's market. And clearly right now it's the buyer's market. And then also the interest rates, we don't have control over that. And also when that buyer walks into the door for your home. Now we're going to do everything to make him walk through fast, but we don't have full control over that. But we're going to put everything out there to make that happen in a quick fashion. The power of pricing. Now, when pricing your home, here is some great numbers to look at. This middle bar here represents market value of a home. If we would list a home at market value, that would mean that what would happen, and these are stats saying that 60% of the potential buyers out there that would be interested in your home would naturally come, and actually we would attract them to the home. If we actually went below market value, so less than what the market is actually demanding, 10% below, we'd attract 75% of those buyers. If we went 15% below, we would attract 90% of those buyers. And those buyers come in the first couple weeks of that listing, the first 3 to 4, maybe up to 3 to 4 weeks of that listing. So what a lot of people are doing is listing it above market value, and what they're doing is they're attracting 30% of the buyers when the heat is on and when those people are coming through. Some are even going above that and attracting 10%. And then they say, okay, we're not getting what we want. Then they lower it down to market value, and at that point we've lost that funness of a new home, that initial glow of a new home, and that initial attraction that you can't get. No matter how much marketing you're going to do, you're never going to get that initial rush back. So we're using all of our marketing material to generate and get those people in the door, and we're going to capture them right off the bat. So a lot of people end up coming down to here, and then what they'll end up doing is some of these future graph show is actually selling it for less than market value because of that. When putting a home onto the market, you have a couple options here, and this is just 3. If you'd put it onto the market, you could put it out here in this red, which would be out of the market, and that would be something that nobody would really tap into because we're in the lower third of condition and the higher higher percentage of price. So we're at the worst end of both of those. Or what we can do is we can price it in no man's land, where you're kind of in between, and actually what you're doing is you're selling the house down the street. Basically what you're doing is somebody's coming in and looking at your house, and then they're going down to the street and they're finding one that's in the market, basically the same thing for $5 grand less. They're saying, and now all of a sudden your home built value in the home down the street. because of the price and the condition of the home. We just sold the house down the street. So what we want to do is be in the market, be in that top 67% of condition, be in the lower third of pricing, so we can use all those people around us to sell your home. We want to make sure that those people that are coming in are seeing the value, because they're obviously looking at other homes. We need to make sure that when they see yours, they're like, okay, this is a value because I just went to one very similar, not in this condition and not in this price range. We talked a little bit about that initial traffic coming into a home. This is showing us weeks on the market on the bottom, 1 through 7, and when the traffic comes. So we can see that the traffic comes initially, and then it naturally will fade off. And what we don't want to be doing is fade off and then say, okay, let's go price it where we should have right off the bat, and then deal with traffic like this, where we could have had it priced there and having all of this traffic right up here. Attracting the buyers. So pricing your home at a higher point or above market value, what will happen is you'll end up doing your price reductions, getting it down to market value at a later time, and then having less buyers looking at it, and then actually end up selling it at a below market value, which we were just kind of talking about. Where if we could start it off close to market value or at market value, we could take advantage of that and then sell the home at or above market value and actually net more money. So pricing a home competitively, again, basically what we're saying here is don't chase the market. What happens is when you put your home on the market, we've got that traffic. And then most of the offers will come in week 4 through 6. So they'll be coming in this area. And we don't want to be having the traffic come in and not get the offers because we weren't in the top percentage of the condition and the price. Where now we lose that traffic, and then we come down here, and then this is where our offers start coming in a much smaller amount and for a lot less money. So we want to make sure we're tackling that and not chasing these buyers that once came through. It's tough to get anybody back, as you can know in anything out there. Is once they've gone, it's tough to get anybody back. But once we've got them, let's take advantage of it. Quickly, some misconceptions. These are just pricing ones. What you paid for the home, what you need, what you want. Buyers aren't really looking at that. They're not going to say, okay, so what did he pay? Okay, then I'll pay this. They're looking at what's out there. What can I buy the home down the street for, or across the neighborhood? What can I buy that for? And does this compare? They're not looking at what was paid for 5 years ago. It doesn't affect them at all. So these are just some misconceptions out there.